Drink it in, man.
Deep left side carry on. Picks on the block. At the 5. At the 2. At the 1 to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions.
Drink it in, man.
Get up, Stafford throws. It is end zone. Caught! Oh, baby, what a catch! Kenny Galladay, you're a freak! What a catch! Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Cornbread!
I love the Lions! Say it with me! I love the Lions!
Drink it in, man.
Detroit Koolaid, what is going on, everybody? We are back on a Friday, a glorious Friday here in Michigan. Man, we've been having some amazing weather. We're coming off the holiday. Me and Grifka loved getting back on the podcast on Wednesday talking Detroit Lions. Cannot believe camp is a few weeks away. Super excited. Grifka, tell the people how much you love a Friday, and especially this Friday.
Oh, I mean, it's Friday, man. TJF, man. But I think, as if my math is correct, I think it's somewhere like around 35 days until the Lions play the Patriots in that first preseason game, which I know me and you'll be stoked for until we watch the first 3 plays, and then we're like, that's why it's preseason. So I think it's somewhere in that ballpark, like 35 days, something like that.
Yeah, I want to say it's the 8th or something like that. I mean, basically under a month there, and man, I can't wait. I'm going to that game with my buddy Chops, a guy that a good buddy of mine, and excited that we're going to meet downtown and grab some grub and make our way to the game. I know I bagged on preseason games before, but if I can go to a game with a good buddy, especially where I don't have to be like, you know how me and you are, like we have fun at our tailgate, but then come game time, we're like barely talk because we're just so hyped for the game and locked into what's going on. So it's fun kind of to go to a preseason game against the Patriots, get some grub at a good establishment down in the D, and talk and kind of go to the game, but not be so hyped and plugged into every little play and thing that's happening. So that should be fun. Anything else new with you on your end?
No, but just to kind of piggyback on your comment there, I think people would find it funny how, if they went to a game with us, how we actually act at a game. Because, yeah. I mean, you know, like you said, we never get up and go get grub in the middle of a play or anything like that. We're like still sitting there like kind of critiquing stuff, and we irritate each other. I'm like, why don't they do that? Why'd they do that? And you're like, will you be quiet? It's so funny how we do that, though.
Yeah, we've almost had a few goes right there in our chairs because the first bad play, you're going crazy, negative, and I'm yelling at you. And then we got the idiots around us standing up on 3rd down and short. And then we got, like, who are these people that go to these football games, pay crazy money, and then they just randomly go get food and miss half the game? It's like, I'll never understand that when the NFL, I mean, you want to go do that at a game we shall not speak of at the other stadium right across the street, like, okay, but don't come to an NFL game and randomly get up in the first quarter and go lollygag around the concourse. That's just Bush League. I mean, we need to get those people out of Ford Field and load that up with football fans.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, if we could ever do a video of us, me and you at a game, it'd be funny. I know we'd probably get a lot of likes on that and people laughing at us the way we act. So.
Oh, man. Absolutely. My favorite is like when Grifka's like hates the team after the first mistake, but then anytime there's a touchdown, Grifka's the guy going the most crazy in the section. I mean, he's got his hands double fist pump. He's just absolutely going nuts. I'm like, I love watching you flip the script from going like hating the team and everything's the worst to like euphoria. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's what the Lions do to me, man. Up and down, up and down. Anyways,
oh man, we're hoping this year we'll be all up, man. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, well, let's do this. Let's get into this. I know it's our second show of the Dollars and Cents, and I know you prepped
Where's
it on,
my money?
I know you prepped it on the Wednesday show. This show we're going to cover the quarterbacks and the safeties. So not nearly as many players. So but we'll try to touch base on give you guys some nice in-depth look at how these players' contracts do affect the team this year. So you want to get into this, Derek?
Grifka, we're going to get into it, but this is where we take you to the next level. Instead of the guy saying, oh, he's a good football player, he'd help our team, we get down to the dollars and cents, the ages, the contract values, like a real GM, even though we're two fans with a microphone. You got to love this segment. You got to love dollars and cents. Let's get into this right now, buddy. Let's do this thing.
Okay, well, let's do this. We're going to start with the quarterbacks, the face of the franchise. Let's get the first one out there. We all know him. We all love him. We all want him around for the next few years, and that's Matthew Stafford. I mean, once again this year, I mean, his salary, his base salary is going to be the $13.5 that he's making.
Who are we talking about again, Grifka?
I believe it's Matt Stafford.
Stafford! 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 Stafford!
Okay, I got you. I
There
know
we go.
that guy.
That's who we got right there.
Yeah.
And with all the little bonuses that Matt Stafford has going in this year, he has a total cap hit of $29.5 million for the team this year. And I know a lot of people are talking about, well, we don't need, let's get somebody else, and that's obviously not going to happen. If the Lions were to cut him this year, I mean, he's going to take a big dead cap hit of $55 million. So we all know that's not going to happen. 29.5 total cap hit for the team this year. What's your take on that, on Matt Stafford there, Derek?
Grifka, we talk about him on the show. There's been a few times where I get super fired up, and the reason I do is because I know how important the quarterback position is. So when we're talking about his salary, oh, man, it gets me going because a quarterback salary in the NFL, I think I mentioned on the last show that there's 53 guys on a roster. This isn't the NBA where you're paying guys, 50 million, 40 million. The quarterback is the only position that gets that kind of money in the NFL, and people go crazy about it. They go, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's making this much and that. It's the premier spot in sports. It's the premier position in the game, and the reason they do it and the reason they get paid is these guys are making incredible decisions on every play that impact if your team's going to win or lose. I mean, yeah, you can have a great defense. Yeah, you can have a solid special teams. We know how important those are, right, Grifka?
Definitely a big part of the game.
A third of the game. But, when it comes to the quarterback position, not only are they touching the ball on every play, he's making every call, he's making every throw, he's even the handoffs, the way he runs, implements the run game is super important. So when I see this crazy price tag for Matt Stafford, I mean, gosh, it's so tough because it does give me like a big ceiling for him. I'm like, hey, Stafford, like, you are the guy, like, everything's on your shoulders. And for that reason, I got really no issue with the money we pay him. And I feel like we got ahead of the curve. Like, we signed this guy to a big deal before the deals were getting even crazier than they are now. And he's locked up. Like, in case he gets some huge injury or he just absolutely stinks, like, we're going to be happy with this contract. The guy knows football. He can throw the football. I'm totally fine with the number. And I think that I think he's going to have a bounce back. I mean, I think this guy is going to play big this year, not only with the throws he makes, but his leadership mentalities, I don't know, there's going to be something. I think this guy's motivated for more reasons than one to get it done. So I'm fine with the contract. I think he'll live up to it. And I think after he does, people are going to be saying, man, we got Matt Stafford locked up for the next 3-4 years at this deal. And look at Joe Schmo now. He's making 41, 43 million. And Stafford's down here in the mid-20s. So I'm good with it. Let's go. Let's freaking go.
Stafford!
Yeah.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Go ahead, Grifka.
Okay. I'm with you on that. I like his cap. I like his cap where he's at.
Stafford!
Sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. I like his cap hit where he's at. And I do believe Bevel is looking to take this offense in a direction that takes a lot of the weight and pressure off Stafford's shoulders. I'm not saying Stafford's going to become the game manager, but Stafford's still going to have to make plays. And when he's, out there making those plays, leading the team to victories, everybody's going to look at the salary cap and, hit and say 29.5. Yeah, we're fine with that. That's good. For what he does for this team. Yeah, I'm fine with that. And even the next couple of years, I mean, next year the hit goes up to 31.5, and then after that, it actually dumps down a little bit, down to 30. But at that point, in next year or two, it's probably going to be 2 years if he continues on that pattern where he's just kind of where he's at, not winning. The thing everybody says, he doesn't win the big games against, was it teams with over 500 records, playoff contenders, playoff teams. His record isn't that great. We don't have to talk about that. His dead cap, in a couple years is at 10 million. So I believe if anything's going to happen, it'll be that year. Even next year at 26 million, a dead cap that is a huge chunk of dead money just to be laying around on a team. So I don't think Bobby Quinn's going to even say it at that point. They would live with it at that point. And if he's, in a couple years, the team's ready to move on, 10 million, I think they would eat the 10 million at that point. But this year, next year, that's not going to happen. So, but I think they're going to turn around. They're going to tailor the offense for his needs. So even his cap hit, the team isn't going to worry about it. He's going to be making what he's exactly worth.
Bingo! Bingo! Bingo!
I like it, Grifka.
Cool. It's good to hear. I'm so glad we both are in Stafford's corner as opposed to, we know there's a lot of fans out there that don't like him, but let's look at it this way. We have Matt Stafford, starting the games. And we've said this before.
Cornbread!
If Stafford goes down, we're really in trouble. So this is what we got. Right now, we're looking at Tom Savage is the backup right now. His salary right now is at $805,000. We're to a cap hit of just $735,000. If they were to cut him, his dead cap would be at $90,000 right now. So, Tom Savage, what are you thinking about that small salary as a backup quarterback? Do you think he's worth it? You think there's anybody else out there they might look to bring in? With obviously would probably cost more. But what are you thinking about Tom Savage at a salary of $805,000?
Grifka, I remember when Tom Savage was in Houston and they was all like, I wonder who's going to start, Tom Savage or Deshaun Watson? And I was like, man, everybody's sort of seen Tom Savage. We know what he is. He's not good. He's probably a decent clipboard holder, but he can't play. And, sure enough, they ended up starting him. Tom Savage won the job out of camp or whatever the heck they said. That lasted, a hot minute before Deshaun Watson, the Michael Jordan of the NFL, comes in and just does what he does. So, I was just not a fan. It was kind of like those A.J. McCarrons of the world where he found his way to play, but he was never really going to do anything. Just like I used to bag on Shaun Hill. Everybody act like Shaun Hill was the best backup in football. What games did he ever win? He had a few little spots, but he never won anything. You knew going into a game, he'd get you through, but he's not going to do anything. And so that was my take on Tom Savage. Now that he's here in a Lions uniform, Grifka's a great example of what I tried to explain to you about the draft. I don't like a player, but if he's going to come wear our jersey, I'm going to try to ignore his warts and find what is good. So as I've read up on him and as he's been here, I guess he has a plus arm, which I wasn't really aware of, that he has a pretty decent throwing arm. Seems like a decent guy when it comes to just knowing his role on the team, knowing what's expected. And I hear he's been making some plays in camp. So maybe it's a guy that is just a little bit of an upgrade from what we have had as a backup. A guy that can, at least if he comes in, can get the football to the outside to, the Kennys of the world and our tight end, who's incredible. I mean, you agree with that. I don't have to ask you. And all these other players. So I'm coming around on Tom Savage. I feel like he might be in the mid range of backups in the game, as far as he's not earth shattering, but he's not absolute garbage. He's kind of in the middle, and I think that his contract says that he knows his role. And yeah, I'm good with him. I think that the backup quarterback position has been null and void here because Stafford has stayed healthy, but they always need to be ready to play. They do need to help the starter. And I think that with the money he's making, he'll be on this roster, but he's got to be ready to go. And I don't know, I love that Matt Stafford stayed healthy, but I also think when he was getting hurt all the time, it was because he was playing a more reckless brand of football, which was not only more fun to watch, but was also sort of more impactful. There were lots of games early in his career where he was throwing 4 or 5 touchdowns, 300 plus yards. I don't think we're going to see that this year, but I wouldn't mind Matt Stafford kind of slinging it around when he gets the chance and not risking injury, but also, going out there and having a backup that's good enough that he's not tiptoeing around or having to play with 18 injuries if he did get an ailment of some kind. So long and short, I mean, I'm decent with Tom Savage. I don't love him, but now that he's got a Lions uniform, I'm going to root for him. The contract's no issue, and maybe he can be here for a couple years and just be a solid backup.
Yeah, the biggest thing is the Lions aren't paying their backup a whole lot of money, and I always like that. You're not spending a whole lot of money on a guy who's not going to touch the field all that much. So his contract, like you said, it's no big deal. I mean, these guys, backup quarterbacks like guys like Tom Savage, these guys, once again, dime a dozen. They're obviously not going to groom him to take Stafford's place. He's just going to be a stopgap if something happens to Stafford. So his salary's no big deal, no huge percentage on the team. So I ain't got a problem with this guy at all. I'm hoping that all he does all year is hold the clipboard, and the only time we see him is in the preseason, or a mop-up game where the Lions are just kicking the crap out of the Packers, and they want to save Stafford, so they throw Tom Savage out there to continue to chuck the ball around on the Packers. So I'm fine with Tom Savage's salary as backup.
Yeah, man.
Okay. What about this other guy? Any word on, was it David Fales, I believe? Is it Fales? The guy they cut Connor Cook for. So, Connor Cook showed a little flash out in Oakland.
Struggling.
Yeah, exactly.
Struggling.
That's for David Fales, too. Go ahead.
Fales. That's not. I don't know if that's the best name for a quarterback. Fales, but once again, his salary is the same as Savage, the $805,000 1-year deal. This guy, if they cut him, there's no dead cap money at all. So, what do you think this guy's? You think this guy's actually in here to compete with Savage, or is he just here kind of as a camp body to take some snaps in the preseason?
I really don't know. I mean, Fales, the name didn't really jump off to me like, oh, I remember him from the draft, which, again, that's usually what I do when I hear people like, did I like him in the draft? Did I not? Does he have some tools that are extraordinary? Like, I just really didn't remember much about him. I haven't read a ton up on him. I mean, they went and got him, which, they got rid of Connor Cook. So, I mean, to me, they must either know something about him or feel he has something to bring to the table, but I don't really know what that is. The Lions have, obviously just kept the two quarterbacks, which I think is the way to do it. We're not here to talk about him, but I'm curious, if Logan Thomas makes the roster, could he be that really backup emergency type quarterback, or is he totally moved on from that? Because, I mean, if you told me Logan Thomas was our third quarterback, I'd probably feel better about that than David Fales. To be honest, and he's playing the tight end position now. So, Fales, I guess I'll be curious to maybe read up more on him or see how he plays when we're down at camp. Maybe he shows some things. Maybe he has a decent couple preseason games. I mean, I think he's a bit younger. Obviously, like you said, the contracts are pretty much marginal, the same. So, again, not going to talk like I know everything about this guy, but anybody that's younger and if he shows some things, intrigues me, but I don't know that he can do much to take care of, Savage there as the number 2. And then I wish we could kind of find another really young guy that could be just, like you said, about putting him on the practice squad, like a young talent, but a guy that's enough under the radar where we could just have him on the practice squad in case of emergency that had some upside. But I really don't know who that would be. And yet, like we've talked about, I'm not a huge proponent of kind of what feels to be wasting a draft pick late, taking a quarterback that you either have no plans for, that can't really do anything for you. He's just going to kind of be the insurance of insurance, So, Fales, we'll see what he does. Not a big fan either way, and don't have any huge takes on him.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I know it sounds odd for me to continue to agree with you on all these players, but I'm picking up what you're putting down. I mean, I think he'll be the odd man out when it comes to the season. I think the team likes Tom Savage. That's why they brought him in. This guy Fales would have to be something really spectacular for him to beat out Tom Savage. I think in maybe a year, maybe next year might be the year the Lions would look to draft a quarterback, maybe not in the first round, but like you said, groom, because if Stafford isn't where they expect him to be, and when his dead cap is only at 10 mil in a couple years, that might be the time that they look to put that new guy in there and get rid of Stafford if they don't like where Stafford's at. So, but anyways, fails. This guy's not making the roster. No dead cap. Hey, thanks for showing up. Thanks for taking some snaps and some hits in the preseason. That's pretty much what Fails is here for.
Hey, Grifka, real quick before we move on. So, I told the people, we're trying this new soundboard, having some fun with it. I've got a different mic set up. I'll probably have a different mic in the next week or two, which I think will be better. But hang in there with us while we're having some fun with this kind of stuff. And we're going to get it tuned up right. We'll get the volumes and stuff where we need it, but we think it will add to the show. And we think eventually you guys will sort of be anticipating some of these sound drops. We have the ability to change them on a week-to-week basis. So you may think you've heard them all and you may think you know multiple, but I may totally change it up one week and just have all types of new stuff. I'm going to keep Grifka on his toes. And Grifka, when you keep agreeing with me, I might have to hit you with this combo.
That is incredible.
I might have to do that every time you agree with me.
That is incredible.
That's a clang from Family Feud along with a Jim Rome. That's incredible. This is an ode to Jim Rome with our soundboard, man. I think that people are really going to like it, and it should be fun once we get it going. But something new we're adding, so hang in there with us as we get it right. Just wanted to say that off the top. So.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
By now, most of you have probably heard of Reality Sports Online, the most powerful fantasy sports platform where owners get to build and manage their fantasy teams just like an NFL general manager. But the question is, have you tried it? It's time to go see what all the buzz in the Dynasty community is all about. I'm talking free agency, multi-year contracts, a rookie draft, multi-team trades, franchise tags, contract extensions, first-round rookie options, automated contract and salary cap functionality, and much, much more. Think it sounds way too complicated for the time you have available? I'm here to tell you it's not. The best thing about Reality Sports Online Fantasy Front Office is that it doesn't take any more time than a standard league. It just requires more strategy. So you think you're among the fantasy elite? Well, this is the platform to test your mettle. Still not sure? You can test out your general manager skills for free in a mock free agency auction. If you like what you see, use the promo code Koolaid, all one word, lowercase, to receive a 10% discount on your team or league today. Fantasy just got real at realitysportsonline.com. What else are we talking about, man? We got through the quarterbacks. We're done with them. 3 people. I mean, I'm sure that took you 2 minutes of research. What else we got to talk about?
Well, of course, I mean, we're going against the quarterback's best friend, and that's that's the safeties. They're always looking for the safeties. They're either dropping in the box or playing center field out there, trying to pick them off. So let's touch base with who the Lions have listed at safety right here. And let's start out with the guy that the Lions, when they drafted him, was pretty happy with the pick, and that's Quandre Diggs. Right now, he's at a salary. His base salary is at $2.67, and with all of his few bonuses that he has going in there, he has a total cap hit of 5.98. I don't think we're going to have to worry about the dead cap with him because I believe Quandre Diggs is going to be here. So 5.98 total cap hit. How do you feel about him?
Grifka, before I get to his cap hit, hold on a second.
Know your role.
Tell the people what Quandre is and what I told you he was a long time ago.
Know your role.
Tell the people.
What do you mean? I guess he's a safety?
No, it starts with a D. It's a word I said a long time ago that he was, and you didn't agree with me.
Know your role.
You gave him dog status. Okay, he's a dog.
Yeah, and when I did, you flipped out saying, well, Quandre Diggs, what's he done? He's a dog. He's a dog over here. What's he done? He's not there yet. He had a couple good games. Like, would you agree that this is one of the nastier dogs on our team now? This is a guy that goes out and brings it all to the table every week.
Yeah, he definitely does that. He's definitely a lot. Like I said, I was happy with the draft pick when they made it, but I think what he's brought to this team far exceeded the expectations where I thought he'd be. So yes, I would say that.
So in my opinion, when it comes down to his dollars and cents, man, for a dog like Quandre Diggs, this is a guy, man. What was it? 6th round out of Texas, I believe he was. Like, he was taken late, 5th, 6th round, one of the two. And this guy has come through. He's a leader. He's really tough. He flies to the football. I feel like this was not only a good draft pick when it was made, but he's panned out. And this is a guy that Bobby Quinn, again, I don't think we give him enough credit for the good he's done. We only worry about the little issues here or there. This is a guy he saw early. He paid early. And now it's a guy that's making, like you said, $2.6 million, a nearly $6 million cap hit when safeties are getting what? What were the top safeties getting this year? Like 18? What did our boy Landon Collins get that we thought was maybe coming to the D? He got something ridiculous, like 15 plus million, 12 to 15. Yeah. Like we got Quan Q at half that, and basically like a third of that on his actual salary. So, I mean, I love this guy. I could just talk about him for days. I think we need to keep him as a leader of this football team, not let him go anywhere. And he'll be a guy that'll be barking for more money before you know it, too. And hopefully they take care of him.
Yeah, he's going to be a guy that's going to have a really strong year for these guys in the defensive backfield. You know, like you said, just short of $6 million total cap hit. He's definitely worth every dollar of that. Now, the next couple of years, I mean, his cap, hit does go up a little bit, but it's real incremental. I mean, 6.3 next year and a little over 6.6 the year after that. And this, I mean, he does take, it does have the dead money does go down each year. He's a little over $2 million next year, then a little over $1 million the year after that. But I don't think, once again, like I said, I don't think we're going to have to worry about dead money with this guy. I think he's going to be here. I think they like him. He's going to be on the field. He's going to produce. He's going to be one of the leaders of the defense. He's a dog, like you mentioned. So what he's making on this team, what he brings to this team, he is definitely worth every penny that they're paying this guy right now. And he may be one of those guys, if he continues to produce, take strides, this guy's going to be looking for a big payday, and that's going to be up to Bobby Quinn to decide if they want to pay him or kind of go with, the younger, Diggs is young, but they also have a couple of younger safeties on the team as well, which we'll bring up here in a couple seconds. If they're going to want to pay this guy in a few years or, cut bait and go with the younger guys and maybe draft another safety a year or two from now. So.
Now, Grifka, hold on before you move on. I got to hit you with a first time ever on the show. This is groundbreaking. I'm going to hit you with a quad Grifka bell. That's 4 in case you don't know. So that's a quad bell for all the I mentioned befores, you were right, all the things you threw in there. I mean, the people know it when they hear it. Sometimes I can't get to the bell quick enough. So I'm giving you a quad bell. And you know what goes with a quad bell, Grifka, because the people love it so much? A quad, yeah. Yeah! Yeah! Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, for each bell. That's cool. Okay. I want to move on to this guy next. I like him in the defensive backfield. I think he can be one of those leaders, especially for the young guys we got back there. It says last year on the contract, and that's Tavon Wilson. And right now, his base salary is at it's a meager $1 million. But his total cap hit, it's going to be a little over 2. It's like 2.06. If the Lions want to go younger and not keep him around, I mean, his dead cap's only going to be $875,000. So what do you think Tavon Wilson, with his salary at the 2.06, really small dead cap with the other safeties we have on the team, what do you feel his position is on his team with the amount of money he makes?
Oh, I like Tavon a lot. I remember when he first coming in here, it was kind of that first New England guy that was really showing, he wanted to come play here for Matt Pat, and that Matt Pat also knew what he could bring to the table. And I think he's over-delivered since he's been here. It's kind of I think he started a little bit when he first came, and now he's sort of been that depth guy or that guy that's sort of passing the torch. I mean, he took a restructured or even a reduced salary to stay. I'm happy with Tavon. I think he has pretty good size. He brings really solid play to the field. He doesn't do a ton that wows me, but he can come in for an injury and I feel okay about it. He can come in the box. He can cover people. He can play a little bit free if needed. I like Tavon a lot, and I'm glad that he was willing to sort of give up a little bit to stay here. And I think he'll be that building bridge between like Tracy and Quandre and the young fella, the Harris kid. So I think he's kind of like that perfect bridge player, at least this year. And then, like you say, maybe then he moves on or he gets another better deal. But really happy to have Tavon in the fold this year.
Yeah, Tavon Wilson, I believe he's going to take that mantle that Glover had. The wily veteran, take the young guys under your wing, show them how to play. I know Diggs wants to be a leader, but Tavon Wilson, he's been around the block enough. He knows what's going on. He can help, mature those the Tracy Walkers, the Will Harris a little faster with what his knowledge is. And it may be one of those things. It's the last year of his contract, and if he plays well, if Patricia wants him around, if he doesn't think the younger guys are seasoned enough, him and Bob Quinn may look at giving this guy maybe another 1-year deal. It could be one of those things, just to keep him around, just for his leadership, and a little, as one of the wily veterans. The 2.06 mil, that's, once again, like I said, I believe that's well worth every dollar he's getting. He's not overpaid by any stretch of the imagination. And even though the dead cap money, if they were to decide to part ways with him, is only $875,000, I think it's another player we don't have to worry about. I believe he will be on this team, day one, teaching the young guys how to be pros and making the plays like those wily veterans do.
One other quick thing on him too, like normally if it was an aging safety that was making, what'd you say his base was again? Do you have it in front of you?
Yeah, $1 million.
Okay, just $1 million. I think that came down from like 2.5-ish or something like that. So if it was like an aging safety that I didn't like his game, that was making like 3-ish, I'd kind of be down on it just because you could use that money other spots. But yeah, man, you're talking about $1 million and being able to be a leader and play that veteran, respected guy type of role. Yeah, you hit on it all. So we're good.
Let's move on to like one of your favorites. What is it? Let's go to Tracy Walker. What nickname did you give Tracy again?
Tracy Walker, man, 747. He's got the arms of a plane. He flies around. He's going to take some balls from the other team's offense and touch down in the end zone for a touchdown. 747, Tracy Walker. And I'm sorry for the certain corner, but I got to do it this time, maybe one time only. Oh, baby. Tracy Walker. Let's go.
Okay. Tracy Walker, I mean, once again, young guy in the defensive backfield on the rookie contract, base salary of $628,000 with the couple bonuses that he has worked in there. He has a total cap hit of $848,000. With where he's at, I'm not going to even bring up the dead cap. I don't think he's going to be here. We ain't going to worry about that at all. Tracy Walker, rookie cap, $848,000 cap hit. What do you think about that with how he's progressing on this team?
Man, again, lots of hype around Tracy Walker, a guy that we talk about a lot here on the show and think he's going to take a big step forward. But this is where I'm going to go half Grifka. Like, we do need to see it. I don't want Tracy Walker coming out this year and sort of being, having some bad angles on guys, maybe a guy getting a tight end or something, getting behind him or him like almost making plays. I really want to see this happen on the field and really be this impactful guy that takes not only one, but a couple steps forward. And we look back and say, wow, we got something special in that kid. 747 is going to be around a long time. And he's living up to all his measurables and all that type of stuff. I mean, it's one to look good in the shorts and the t-shirt, but can this guy put the pads on and go out and play? I mean, again, I lean towards the positive. So of course I'm going to support him and think that he can, but I'm going to go a little bit your way, Grifka, and tell him to show me, tell him to make plays so that the city of Detroit and a bunch of other people know who this kid is and get excited about him as well. And when it comes to dollars and cents, man, I mean, there's really nothing to be said. Again, it's another third-round pick by Bobby Quinn that not only was a surprise pick, but is a pick here in year number 2 that should have a prominent role. I mean, other than Tracy, let me take a quick pause, Grifka. Like, we are in show number 2, probably about more than halfway through the show. I don't think we've brought up once that there's like a really terrible contract on this team so far. Like, the closest thing to a tough contract to swallow was probably that Ricky Wagner one that we talked about, just because of the dollars and some of his play. But I mean, am I wrong that we're looking pretty good after doing 4 different positions, sets of positions here for the Detroit Lions in regards to money, ages, all that type of stuff? I mean, I think there's a reason for the fans to get excited about this team.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. And I know in the upcoming shows, just like you said, doing some basic research, before really digging any deep dives, I think we're going to stumble across that as well, that there may be 1 or 2 that we may question. But the one thing we'll have to worry about is like what we're kind of going through right now with Snacks and Slay. Is one of those things that, we want more money. Just, okay, how much more are the Lions willing to give them if they're looking to renegotiate and give them cash? At that, we might have to take a step back and say, hey, wait a minute, this one may be a little tougher to swallow. But as of right now, everything's looking good.
I agree, man. Let's go, Grifka. Let's turn up that juice a little bit and get excited about this team, man. Let's go.
Okay. Like you said, it brought a tear to my eye when you said you went a little Grifka that way. It really did. I had to go find a Kleenex and wipe it away. But
and then Tracy right after Walker, that, I told you this.
Step your game up.
So there you go. I evened it out.
Yeah. This is one of those guys I was talking about that I believe Tavon Wilson just kind of needs to be like, this is where the coach is going to need to be like, hey, Tracy Walker, why don't you go shadow Tavon Wilson? And needless to say, because both you guys have the same initial, so we can both call you TW, and it'd be easy to bring you over there. But this is a guy I believe Tavon Wilson's like, hey, put him on your wing, teach him how to be a pro, and like you're saying, I think he may progress quicker if he's able to do that. If somebody takes him under his wing, and he'd be no problem with the rookie contract, and he'd be a guy that would be here to fulfill the whole thing, as opposed to having to worry about next year we're looking to cut him or move on from him. But I don't think Tracy Walker's going to be that. They wouldn't have took this guy in the 3rd round if they didn't have high hopes for this guy. So next guy I want to talk about is a guy I know you're pretty high on, and that's going to be Will Harris. Once again, rookie, just basic rookie contract, man. That's going to be the $495,000 with a total cap hit with signing bonuses at $733,000. Once again, I mean, first year, we're not going to worry about dead cap on this at all. So, Will Harris making a rookie deal at $733,000. What's his role on this team for the money he makes?
Grifka, this could be years 3 out of 3 that Bobby Quinn swings big in the 3rd round. Again, another off-the-radar type name. I think this could be another huge hit, man. I recently, I don't know if I told you this or we talked about it on the show, I was falling down that YouTube wormhole, which I do at times, where I go to check one thing and then it's an hour later I'm watching all these random videos. But there was a video that popped up of Will Harris. I think it's because we're doing our deep fantasy leagues, the 32 teamers, and I was able to get Will Harris in one of those on a 3-year really low contract. I was like, oh man, I'm excited. I'm like, let me go look up on him a little bit more, and just found out how young he was and watched some of his highlights. Highlights excite me. But then I came across an interview, man. It was like Will Harris just sitting around with the media, and this guy he looked to me, Grifka, like in this interview, like he had been in the NFL for like 5-6 years. I mean, he had that body type. He was composed. He was funny. He was like really good to the media. He was just a guy where I was like, man, I could see that being like a captain of our defense type of guy, along with like the reason I really like him from a fan perspective is like the guy runs and hits and is exciting, I think, to watch. I think we're going to jump out of our chair kind of like we do with Quandre with this guy. So anyway, long and short of it, man, I love the safety group. I think it's exciting. It's young. It's got big upside, and it's also got some players that are just straight up solid or better than solid in Quandre Diggs that can really lead the unit. So, I mean, there's not much to say about his contract. When you're taking guys in the 3rd round in the NFL draft, it's the reason this is, Grifka, mark it down right now. This is the guy that we basically got for Golden Tate, right? So we traded Golden Tate, got a 3rd round. I was flipping out about how great a 3rd round pick was and you were just like, oh, it kills our team, Golden Tate, he's so amazing, this, that, and the other. Like, wait and see what Will Harris does. Like, maybe not day one, but come talk to me after year one or heading into year two, and let's look back at that trade and go, would we rather have Golden Tate on like a 3-year, $30 million deal, or would we rather have Will Harris at like $1 million for the next 3+ years? Like, come talk to me about that, because I love this guy's contract. I love his mentality, and I love his run and hit ability. Like, absolutely going to be off the charts, I think.
Yeah, it may not be year one with Will Harris. It may not even be year two. It could be one of those things where we really see this guy, come year 3. And then I guess you could revisit that trade, like you said. Would you rather have Golden Tate at that point or Will Harris at that point? Because I don't see Will Harris as a starter this year. I mean, rookie contract, okay, let him learn the ropes. Yeah, I know safety's not one of those positions where they say it's a hard transition, but still, defensive backfield in the NFL is very difficult to play. So it might not be this year, maybe not next year either. I mean, if he progresses leaps and bounds, they might just want to throw him in the fire to see what he can do. It's like, let him learn on the job. But I think year 3 might be that year, like you said, we have to revisit that trade to see which way. It's like, who got the better of that deal. So, but like you said, rookie contract, you really can't sneeze at it, 3rd round pick. So
Grifka, Eric Schlitt schooled you on that and told you that, hey, maybe not for a couple. So give him credit. He that's his take, is that it might take a while, or they might groom him. I think you might see some more exciting plays sooner than Eric thought. But let me go back to Big Mike. Let me go back to Iron Mike. Let me go back to Mike Singletary, an absolute beast leader, hard-nosed football coach. This is what I think about Will Harris, man.
I want winners. I want winners. I want winners. I want people that want to win.
Harris, to me, is a winning football player. He's a leader. He's a captain-type player, and I am glad he's on this team. I think it was a good asset to put around another young core of safeties. Love it.
Okay. Yeah, let's. If you believe in him that much, I will stick by you with him. So, just a couple more guys I want to touch base on. They're hanging around. We have the first one. It's Andrew Adams. I mean, he's on a 1-year deal. I mean, his cap hit's only a little over $900,000. I mean, I don't know if Andrew Adams, how it will pan out. I mean, it could be Ansel Adams or Grizzly Adams back there, but and then the last one would be C.J. Moore. He's going to be one of those rookie free agents that signed, so his base salary is going to be the $495,000. Do you see either one of these guys making an impact on the team or sticking with the team?
Man, I remember when they got Adams, and I was kind of like, that might be a decent safety pickup. Like, he's kind of a veteran. He's a little bit bigger. He might be able to do some things. Like, I changed my tune a little. I think he'll be good in camp, maybe have some solid play in preseason. But I think when it's all said and done, like, Andrew Adams is going to be at the local, like, Coney Island going, where's my money? Like, he's going to be looking for new work, I think, somewhere. But I think he'll be a solid guy to kind of come in here. And, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, he's a guy that's played in the league and been decent, but I just don't know there's a spot for him. Don't have a big take on Moore. I'll have to kind of get caught up on some of these deeper camp guys as we go forward, but don't know much about him in regards to draft pedigree or where he was before, so can't speak on him too much.
Yeah, I'm the same with you. I don't see either one of these guys, really making the team or having a big impact. I'm sure there's probably room at the shoe counter at the bowling alley where Brandon Pettigrew works, and they could probably hook up there with him, doling out the shoes, oiling the lanes, and polishing the balls. So
that's a classic Griff could go to, everybody.
Of course, man. Working at the bowling alley. So that's all I got for safeties right there. So it's another good salary talk right there. Is there anybody else you want to touch base on before we finish out?
Grifka, I think we're good. I mean, we want to tell the people that, like you said, another good a good dollars and cents series. I mean, I think what we need to tell the people is I changed my Twitter. So I used to kind of be the Detroit _Koolaid for the show, but just switch that up to Derek at Derek Okrie. So that's DEREK OKRIE, pretty much how it sounds there. So hopefully you guys will go kind of check me out there. And like I said, Grifka is at Grifka DKC. Really likes when everybody can kind of shout out and give us feedback on the show or talk Lions with us. So, Grifka, how about this? Like, I was going to say, let's give them what we're going to talk about next week, but we'd love some questions from the people, man. We love questions about salaries, things we didn't hit on, things we did mention, some feedback. How about we try to get that from the people, and we tell them to stay tuned, that we'll let them know via Twitter the 2 groups that we'll talk about next Wednesday and the 2 groups about next Friday. Sound like a plan to you?
Yeah, let's do that. And remember, on the listener line, if you want to call in or text in, that number's 989-272-3484.
Everybody, Grifka he's been in his playbook. He knows the Koolaid Listener Line. I mean, he's been on his game these last 2 podcasts. Grifka, I'm gonna have to give you a raise, man, from nothing to absolutely nothing.
It's cool, man. I'm getting closer to the season, man. I'm starting to focus.
Oh man, I absolutely love it. So, Grifka, I'm excited to engage with the people. I know I'm thankful that they let us kind of get away for a couple days and last week and enjoy the holiday. And we're back, man. We're heading into more dollars and cents. We're gonna be down at camp before you can blink your eye. And just really excited about all that, man. It's gonna be incredible. So, with all that being said, man, do you have anything else for the people?
Nope.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much, everybody. We are going to get out of here for another episode of the Detroit Koolaid Cast. Check us back here next Wednesday and Friday. We're talking all things dollars and cents and giving you our takes on these players as we have these last couple episodes. Make sure to check out Monday evening. We'll be coming to you with some fantasy football flavor on the Detroit Koolaid Cast, talking all things fantasy football this next week. Chuck is going to be back in the building. We're going to be talking about how do you win? How do you win that league? And who the heck's going to break out in 2019? So I'm super pumped about that. And I'll be pumped to be back here with Grifka talking dollars and cents. So everybody have a great week. Thank you so much for listening and the support. We'll get up out of here. Take care, everybody. Have an awesome weekend.
Pack the bag, start the plane. This game is over. It is over. What a comeback by the Lions.
Drink it in, man.